कर्म प्रधान विश्व कर राखा, जो जस खरी सो थस फल का। बड़ा नहीं इंसान, बड़ा नहीं भगवान, आसमान धरती से कहता समय बड़ा बलवान। सुनो रे भाई समय बड़ा बलवान, बड़ा नहीं इंसान, बड़ा नहीं भगवान, आसमान धरती से कहता समय बड़ा बलवान। सुनो रे भाई समय बड़ा बलवान। अपनी गारी पे हंसता गारीवान, नाव देख अपनी गारी पे हंसता गारीवान। गारी को जब नाम के देखा चीख पड़ा नादान, चीख पड़ा नादान। सुनो रे भाई समय बड़ा बलवान, बड़ा नहीं इंसान, बड़ा नहीं भगवान, आसमान धरती से कहता समय बड़ा बलवान। सुनो रे भाई समय बड़ा बलवान। महल की रानी बनी भिखारन, मिले धूल में शान। महल की रानी बनी भिखारन, मिले धूल में शान। गोद बनी सेवन की गारी, बैल बना इंसान, बैल बना इंसान। सुनो रे भाई समय बड़ा बलवान, बड़ा नहीं इंसान, बड़ा नहीं भगवान, आसमान धरती से कहता समय बड़ा बलवान। सुनो रे भाई समय बड़ा बलवान। जो देते हैं एक हाथ से 100 हाथों को दान, जो देते हैं एक हाथ से 100 हाथों को दान। समय परे पर उन्हें मिले ना एक मान का पान, बलवान, बड़ा नहीं इंसान, बड़ा नहीं भगवान। आसमान धरती से कहता समय बड़ा बलवान, सुनो रे भाई समय बड़ा बलवान। आज सुनो हम गीत विदा का गा रहे, दो दुखियारे पंछी बिछड़े जा रहे। आज सुनो हम गीत विदा का गा रहे, दो दुखियारे पंछी बिछड़े जा रहे। बहुत दिनों के साथ हाय जुदा होंगे, गुमसुम आखिरियों में आंसू आए। आज सुनो हम गीत विदा का गा रहे, दो दुखियारे पंछी बिछड़े जा रहे। अलग अलग राहों पर चल दिए दो प्राणी, हृदय जग ने इनकी पीर नहीं जानी। आज पुराने सुख के दिन याद आ रहे, दो दुखियारे पंछी बिछड़े जा। आज सुनो हम गीत विदा का गा रहे, दो दुखियारे पंछी बिछड़े जा रहे। कोई मत पूछो कौन है ये क्यों रोते हैं, इस जग में ऐसे भी अभागे होते हैं। रुठ गई फिर भी दिल का दर्द छिपा रहे, दुखियारे पंछी बिखरे जा रहे। आज सुनो हम गीत विदा का गा रहे, दुखियारे पंछी बिखरे जा रहे, दो दुखियारे पंछी बिखरे जा रहे। त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव, त्वमेव बन्धु स सखा त्वमेव। All right. Sorry about that. But the song, one requested yet. We have to sing it because some people already started to cry, so we'll do another song for you, Lord. But the song says he came alone in the bathroom. So let's go with this one. विधिक विधान अचल है रे भाई, विधिक विधान अचल है रे भाई, काले नाही चले पांचली संग पांचों पांडव देखे बन को चले। विधि का विधान अटल है रे भाई, विधि का विधान अटल है रे भाई, काले नाही चले पांचली संग पांचों पांडव देखे बन को चले। कभी न मिटती कर्म की रेखा, हमने हर युग में ये देखा। कभी न मिटती कर्म की रेखा, हमने हर युग में ये देखा। जो लालच कर लेख लिखा था, जो लालच कर लेख लिखा था, वो ने कभी बदले पांचली संग पांचों पांडव देखे बन को चले। विधि का विधान अटल है रे भाई, विधि का विधान अचल है रे भाई, काले नाही चले पांचली संग पांचों पांडव देखे बन को चले। घर को छोड़ चली सब भ्राता, पीछे रह गए रोए माता। घर को छोड़ चली सब भ्राता, पीछे रह गए रोए माता। कांटों पर चल रहे है वो जो, कांटों पर चल रहे है वो जो, महलों में थे पले पांचली संग पांचों पांडव देखे बन को चले। विधि का विधान अचल है रे भाई, विधि का विधान अचल रे भाई, काले नाही चले पांचली संग पांचों पांडव देखे बन को चले। पांचली संग पांचों पांडव देखे बन को चले। विधि का विधान अचल है रे भाई।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। वासुदेवाय, ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ 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 नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते 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 वासुदेवाय। वृंदावन में लाल की जय, सच्ची सनातन धर्म की जय। खड़ा हो जाए, आरती लीजिए। Let us all please stand as we join in the opening आरती। सिद्धि बुद्धि प्रदे देवी भुक्ति मुक्ति प्रदायिनी मंत्र मूर्ति सदा देवी मां लक्ष्मी नमोस्तुते। मोकं करोति वाचालम् पंगूलं गयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवं। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकीनन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। भागवत आरती। जय जय भागवत भगवान की है आरती। जय जय भागवत भगवान की है आरती। अमर गंतये मुक्ति पंतये पंचम वेद निराला नव ज्योति जगाने वाला।
अमर गंतये मुक्ति पंतये पंचम वेद निराला नव ज्योति जगाने वाला।
हरि गाने ही वरदाने जग की मंगल की आरती। जय जय भागवत भगवान की है आरती। शांति दीपक पावन पुनीत पापों को मिटाने वाला हरि दर्श दिखाने वाला।
शांति दीप पावन पुनीत पापों को मिटाने वाला हरि दर्श दिखाने वाला।
ये सुख करनी हे दुख हरनी
सुख करनी
ये मधुसूदन की आरती। जय जय भागवत भगवान की है आरती। मधुर बोल जगपंत बोल सनमाद दिखाने वाला बिगड़ी को बनाने वाला।
मधुर बोल जगपंत बोल सनमाद दिखाने वाला बिगड़ी को बनाने वाला।
श्री राम ही घनश्याम
श्री राम
सबके महिमा की आरती। जय जय भागवत भगवान की है आरती। गोविंद बोलो हरि गोपाल बोलो
गोविंद बोलो हरि गोपाल
गोविंद बोलो हरि गोपाल बोलो
गोविंद बोलो हरि गोपाल
बाके बिहारी नंद लाला की बोलो
बाके बिहारी नंद लाला की बोलो
बाके बिहारी नंद लाला की बोलो
बाके बिहारी नंद लाला की बोलो।
गोविंद बोलो हरि गोपाल बोलो
गोविंद बोलो हरि गोपाल बोलो
गोविंद बोलो हरि गोपाल बोलो
हरि गोपाल बोलो।
श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारी
कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारी
श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारी
श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारी।
हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेवा
हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेवा
हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेवा
हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेवा
गोपाल बोलो,
गोविंद बोलो हरि गोपाल बोलो,
बाके बिहारी नंद लाला की 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 बोलो,
गोविंद बोलो हरि गोपाल 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 बोलो,
गोविंद बोलो हरि
गोविंद बोलो हरि
गोपाल बोलो,
गोपाल बोलो। वृंदावन मेरे लाल की जय। आसन पर बैठे, let us all please be seated. This evening, once more, on behalf of our President and the Executive and all members of the Ganesh Utsav Foundation, I take this opportunity to welcome one and all who have come to join with us in our devotions. I pay obeisance at the lotus-like feet of all our Brahman Devatas. To all of those who are listening to us and to all of those who are viewing us, we say welcome as well. To our kind and our corporate sponsors, we express sentiments of gratitude and expressions of thanks. And so this evening, as we prepare our minds and our souls to listen to the beautiful Katha, Heart Jod Binti Karo, let us bow our heads in prayer. Hari Om Viganeshwaraya Varadaya Surapraya Lambhodaraya Sakalaya Jagathitaya Nagasrutyagya Vibhushitaya Gauri Sutaya Gananath Namo Namaste Saraswati Namastubhya Varane Kamarupini Vidyarambam Karishami Siddhir Bhavatu Me Sada Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Dayarupena Sanstita Namastasye 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 Namo Namah Varnānāmarth Sangānām Rasānām Chandrasāmape Mangalānām Chakaritaru Bande Vani Vinayako Bhavani Shankaro Bande Shraddha Vishwaswarupino Yabhyam Vinana Pashanti Siddha Swantastameshwaram Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwara Gurur Sakshat Parabrahma Tasme Shri Guruve Namah Sri Guru Charana Saroje Raja Barno Raghuvar Himalayasha Bodhaheen Tanu Janike Sumiro Pavan Kumar Balabhuta Vidya Dehu Mohiyo Arahu Kanesh Vikar Vrindavan Krishna Chandra Ji ki Jai Sharanam Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Hamsa Hamsaya Vidme Paramahamsaya Dhime Tanno Hamsa Prachodayat. We eulogize Devi Saraswati through the medium of Saraswati Vandana.
जय 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 श्री सरस्वती माता। जय 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 श्री सरस्वती माता। जय 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 सिया राम राधिका माँ। जय 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 श्री सरस्वती माँ। प्रथम दिन मैं श्री गणेश को दूधे सरस्वती माँ। सीधे मैं बिन वो त्रिदेवा को जो यहाँ की कला होती जे मैं बिन वो त्रिदेवा को जो यहाँ की कला। जय 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 श्री सरस्वती माता। चौथे में बिन वो पांच सभी को ध्यान तुझे भूल रामायण की अनूप कर और सागर पार करा। ओ रामायण की अनूप कर ये भव सागर पार करा। जय 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 श्री सरस्वती माता। पंत बिनाओ कृष्ण चंद्र को भक्ति सभी सिखला। वेद पुराण भागवत गीता सेनु पाप कराय। ओ वेद पुराण भागवत गीता सेनु पाप कराय। जय 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 श्री सरस्वती। जय 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 सिया राम राधिका माँ। जय 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 श्री सरस्वती माता। जय 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 श्री सरस्वती माता।
Saraswati Devi Mata Ki Jai. We join in the kirtan this evening. Let us clap, let us sing, let us make a joyful noise unto Bhagwan. as we pray with faith, with love, and with conviction. This evening, as we clap, we remember the souls of our Pitris, and we ask that wherever their souls may be, may those souls enjoy bliss and happiness now and always. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Hari Om Tat Sat, Hari Om Tat Sat, Hari Om Tat Sat, Hari Om.
Hari Om Tat Sat, Hari Om Tat Sat, Hari Om Tat Sat, Hari Om.
Hari Om Tat Sat, Hari Om Tat Sat, Hari Om.
Hari Om Tat Sat.
Hari Om Tat Sat, Hari Om Tat Sat, Hari Om.
Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om. Gopala Gopala Bhaju Krishna Mukunda.
Govinda Govinda Bhaju Radhe Govinda. Gopala Gopala Bhaju Krishna Mukunda.
Govinda Govinda Bhaju Radhe Govinda. Gopala Gopala Bhaju Krishna Mukunda.
Govinda Govinda Bhaju Radhe Govinda. Gopala Gopala Bhaju Krishna Mukunda.
Krishna 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 Jai Radha Krishna.
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 Hari Om Tat Sat, Hari Om Tat Sat, Hari Om.
Hari Om Tat Sat, Hari Om Tat Sat, Hari Om.
Hari Om Tat Sat, Hari Om Tat Sat, Hari Om.
Hari Om Tat Sat, Hari Om Tat Sat, Hari Om.
Radhe Govinda Gopala, Hare Govinda Radhe Gopala.
Radhe Govinda Gopala, Jai Govinda Radhe Gopala.
Radhe Govinda Gopala, Hare Govinda Radhe Gopala.
Radhe Govinda Gopala, Jai Govinda Radhe Gopala.
Govinda Govinda Gopala,
Govinda Govinda Gopala.
Govinda Govinda Gopala,
Govinda Govinda Gopala.
Govinda Govinda Gopala,
Govinda Govinda Gopala.
Bolo Govinda Govinda Gopala,
Govinda Govinda Gopala.
Radhe Govinda Gopala, Hare Govinda Radhe Gopala.
Radhe Govinda Gopala, Jai Govinda Radhe Gopala.
Radhe Govinda Gopala, Hare Govinda Radhe Gopala.
Radhe Govinda Gopala, Jai Govinda Radhe Gopala.
Krishna Madhusudana, Madhusudana Krishna.
Krishna Madhusudana, Madhusudana Krishna.
Krishna Madhusudana, Madhusudana Krishna.
Krishna Madhusudana, Madhusudana Krishna.
Govinda Govinda Gopala,
Bolo Govinda Govinda
जय जय राधा रमण हरि बोल, जय जय राधा रमण हरि बोल,
जय जय राधा रमण हरि बोल, जय जय राधा रमण हरि बोल,
जय जय राधा रमण हरि बोल, जय जय राधा रमण हरि बोल,
जय जय राधा रमण हरि बोल, जय जय राधा रमण हरि बोल,
जय जय राधा रमण हरि बोल, जय जय राधा रमण हरि बोल,
जय जय राधा रमण हरि बोल, जय जय राधा रमण हरि बोल,
जय जय राधा रमण हरि बोल, जय जय राधा रमण हरि बोल,
जय जय राधा रमण हरि बोल, जय जय राधा रमण हरि बोल,
जय जय राधा रमण हरि बोल, जय जय राधा रमण हरि बोल,
जय जय राधा रमण हरि बोल, जय जय राधा रमण हरि बोल,
जय जय राधा रमण हरि बोल, जय जय राधा रमण हरि बोल,
जय जय राधा रमण हरि बोल, जय जय राधा रमण हरि बोल,
जय जय राधा रमण हरि बोल, जय जय राधा रमण हरि बोल, जय जय राधा रमण हरि बोल, जय जय राधा रमण हरि बोल, जय जय राधा रमण हरि बोल, जय जय राधा रमण हरि बोल, जय जय राधा रमण हरि बोल, जय जय राधा रमण हरि बोल, जय जय राधा रमण हरि बोल, जय जय राधा रमण हरि बोल, जय जय राधा रमण हरि बोल,
जय जय राधा रमण हरि बोल, जय जय राधा रमण हरि बोल,
जय जय राधा रमण हरि बोल, जय जय राधा रमण हरि बोल, जय जय राधा रमण हरि बोल, जय जय राधा रमण हरि बोल, जय जय राधा रमण हरि बोल, जय जय राधा रमण हरि बोल, जय जय राधा रमण हरि बोल, जय जय राधा रमण हरि बोल, जय जय राधा रमण हरि बोल, जय जय राधा रमण हरि बोल, जय जय राधा रमण हरि बोल, जय जय राधा रमण हरि बोल,
जय जय राधा रमण हरि बोल, जय जय राधा रमण हरि बोल,
जय जय राधा रमण हरि बोल, जय जय राधा रमण हरि बोल,
जय जय राधा रमण हरि बोल, जय जय राधा रमण हरि बोल,
वृंदावन मेरे लाल की जय। हरि नारायण हरि नारायण हरि नारायण, जय राम राम राम,
हरि नारायण हरि नारायण हरि नारायण हरि राम.
So last night we ended at that point where you were given homework, and the homework was to find out Yama, the god of death, he's a reincarnation or manifestation of Lord. He's a manifestation of Lord. Good. So you all will be given some penance tonight, because 3 evenings you have refused to follow the instruction of the teacher and you have not done your homework. You're getting help from some being who is saying it is Lord Shiva. Do you think? Last night we ended at that point where Garud would have asked who should perform the rituals of the Andeshti. If there were to be death in the family, then who is aligned, who is in a position to perform the rituals? And it would have given the exact explanation as the Garud Purana narrates. And so the Garud Purana says the sons are chosen, for the soul goes into a place that is called Put, and the son is called Putra. And so the Putra liberates the soul out of Put. And so hence the reason why the sons are chosen to perform the ritual. Garud goes on to ask, and you know what he's asking? He's asking what kind of preparation is made to perform the rituals of the Antishti, the funeral. How must one prepare himself to perform the ritual of the Antishti? And so Bhagavan says that one of the things, and he prescribes this is prescribed. He says one of the things to do to prepare yourself to perform the Antishti is shaving the hair. You must shave the hair. See why girls, the boys are chosen? Cindy, if you have to shave out your hair, what you'll do? Would you shave it? You're saying that now, eh? If you have to shave out your hair, what will you do? Oh, you two saying that now. But one of the most prized possession of a woman, a lady, is her hair. You ever see two ladies fight? What's the first thing they grab onto? Huh? The most prized possession of a lady is her hair. That's why you don't want anybody lusting after the ladies. So in the puja, you tell them, cover their head. So nobody will see their hair. But you know what happened? After they go to the hairdresser, they don't want to pat down their hair. So they will not cover their hair. But the Garud Purana says one of the quickest way of purifying the yajman to perform the ritual is by shaving of the head. The Garud Purana specifies that the hair covering the mund, the center of the head, should remain, forming a choti or a churki. And so depending on the ritual that has to be performed, this churki, this choti has to be knotted to perform the ritual. It has to be knotted, dealing with the energy from the body. Why will you shave the hair? Garud asks, why should one shave hair? And so Bhagavan Vishnu tells Garud, he says, Garud, whatever you eat is stored in your hair. And you have no prolonged period of time to fast to perform the ritual. So one of the quickest way of preparing yourself to perform the ritual is by shaving your hair. Garud then goes on to ask. He's asking now. He says the main person who is performing the ritual, is there a name that he's referred to as? Is he referred to as a name? What is the name of that person who is performing the ritual, the main person? There are 5 people, they perform the rituals. And do you know why 5 people were chosen, Munilal? Do you know why they have 5 people? In Trinidad, anything that you do with 5, when they deal with Hinduism, you say the 5 elements and the 5 senses, isn't it? But it is not that. It is impossible for one man to lift the body. So he needs help. He needs support, isn't it? Strange. You have to be dead for 5 people to lift you. While you're alive, all they do is stamp on you. All they do is say all the bad things about you. You have to be dead for them to read a eulogy and talk about how good you are and how nice you are and the legacy that you would have lived and left behind. But you have to be dead first. After you're dead, you're the best thing after sliced bread. While you're alive, nobody has anything good to say about you. Nobody has anything good to say towards you. The Garud Purana says, Bhagavan tells, he says, the main yajman is called the Kam Karta. Kam Karta, meaning the one who is performing the rituals. He is the one who has been chosen to perform the rituals. Kam Karta. Garud goes on to ask, he says then, after performing this ritual, is there anything that is prohibited by this Kam Karta? Is he prohibited from doing anything after performing the ritual? And then Bhagavan Vishnu says he is prohibited from shaving his hair from that day onwards. No shaving of the face, no shaving of the hair, no cutting of the nails, no grooming of the body happens. Bhagavan Vishnu says no grooming of the body happens. That's why in the time of Pitra Paksh, when you are offering your tarpan, your Tilanjali, in honor of the Pitris, it is prohibited to shave or to groom the body. You ought not to shave or groom the body. And why? Bhagavan Vishnu says, every offering you make benefits the souls of the Pitris. And indirectly you're offering to them. How do you feel when you get food with hair in it? How do you feel? But you the one cook the food. It is your hair. You could identify it because you color your hair gray. And you could see your hair in the food. But though it is your hair, there is a level of scorn that goes with seeing the hair, isn't it? And so, because of this, you should not groom the body. The body should not be groomed. The body of the person who is performing the ritual and not the person who has died. The body of the person who is performing the ritual should not be groomed. Garud goes on to ask. He says, Pindas are offered on the day of the Antishti. What are these Pindas offered for? And we spoke yesterday about the first Pinda that is offered. Can you remember? The first Pinda is offered praying that through this body many promises and vows would have been made. And so now this is the final offering that will come through this body. And so praying that all of the vows and the promises that would have been made will now be shantied, brought to an end. And so the Pinda is broken and thrown in different directions right there in the home. The Garud Purana says that the next Pinda is offered and it is called Dwar Pinda. Dwar means door. The Pinda must be offered at the doorway. When the body is about to leave the home for the final time, it is called the Dwar Pinda. And so this Pinda is offered for traveling mercies. It is offered for traveling mercies. The Garud Purana specifies that the third Pinda should be offered at a 4-road junction. Would you stop on a 4-road junction to offer a Pinda? They will look at you and they'll say, But it should be offered on a 4-road junction. The Garud Purana also says that though provisions would have been made and prescriptions are made and the location is specified because of place, date, time, situation and circumstances, if you cannot, then all of the other rituals they're performed on the cremation site. In the funeral, on the day of the Antishti, it says, simple worship is done. Panch upachar. Only 5 things are offered on the day of the funeral. 5 things are offered and simple worship is done to Bhagavan Vishnu. What are the 5 things that is offered? 5 things are offered. The first thing is water, symbolic of praying for purification and symbolic of bath. The second thing, chandan. The third thing, gandham, perfume. The fourth thing, mala. In the funeral, every funeral I do, when they're putting the mala, I sing this song. You know which song I sing? I sing this song symbolic of the action that is being performed. What song is it? Toot gayi hai mala moti bikari chale दो दिन रहे तेरी साथ जानी बिकर चले टूट गई है माला मोती बिकर चले दो दिन रहे तेरी साथ जानी बिकर चले मिलन की दुनिया छोड़ चलेंगे आंसू पीते पीते मिलन की दुनिया छोड़ चलेंगे आंसू पीते पीते होई होई नैनो मेरे उजले उजले सपने उजले उजले सपने याद की घटने ने कहीं में नजर चले दो दिन रहे तेरे साथ जाने बिकर चले. The bhajan is saying that we are offering the mala, the flowers, but the thread or the cord that holds the flowers together is broken. And why is it broken? It is teaching us that on that day, we're breaking the bond that we once shared with the body. And all that will remain behind are the beautiful flowers of memories that that person would have left behind. What kind of memories would you be leaving behind when you die? What kind of memory will you leave behind? When somebody think of you, what they will think of you? What will they think of you? Have you given talk? Brenda, what do you think of you? Instagram queen. What they will think? What they will think of us? Don't worry, Brenda, I'm Instagram king. What they will think of us? What what legacy, what flowers will we be leaving behind so that we'll be remembered by? What kind of thought? There's some people, when you think of them, instantly you begin to smile. And there's some people, from the time you think of them, you get mad. You get vexed, isn't it? You get upset, you get annoyed, you get angry. Anybody that makes you angry, anybody that makes you upset, you know what you have to do? You know what you have to do? You have to get a picture of that person. Not just a little one, a big one. Put it up on your altar. And every day you have to put chandan and perfume and mala and Jai Jagadisha Hare. When you're walking up the stairs by Papa Malu has a huge portrait of me on the wall. So I go to the puja, and every month they have the puja, so I go. But after many months, it bothered me a little, and I wondered, why will he put my picture there that everybody will see it? And it is, when you're walking down the step, normally there was a huge Hanuman, and I will bow. But now I find myself bowing to myself, because I'm seeing the picture. And then, one day after many months passed, I summed up my courage and I said, Mama and Papa, I want to ask you something. Why did you all put a picture there of me up on the wall? Every time I go to bow, I see me and I get frightened. I'm not seeing Lord Hanuman again. And Papa said, well, I'm listening to my guru. I said, your guru? He said, yes. My guru said, find a picture of the person you don't like and put it up on the wall. And only when you can see God in that person, then you have found God. Every time I see that picture, in my mind I wonder, does he really like me? Or is he trying to like me? Or is he pretending to like me? Because I taught him that. And here is he practicing this, but with my picture. Cause for concern, isn't it? Garud is asking all of these questions. Garud says, tell me, O Bhagwan, offering these 5 main things in the worship. We stopped at the 4th one. The 4th one was the flower. What is the 5th one? The 5th one is the arti. You must wave the arti. Now I want to say this with no apology, and you want to know, the truth always sounds very offensive and everybody gets very upset with me all the time because nobody likes to hear the truth. The time to do arti for any given person is when they're alive, not when they're dead. You make a long line to go and do the arti for the dead person, and while you're living, nobody looks to you, nobody talks to you, nobody cares for you, but the minute you're dead, they're so glad you're dead, they want to wave the arti. And they're not waving that arti symbolic of praying on your behalf, you know. They're waving that arti symbolic of their regret, symbolic of their own regret of what could have and they should have, and that's why. The arti must be waved 5 times in a fixed position. Saying trapped in the body, there were the 5 senses of seeing, smelling, hearing, tasting, touching. We give you thanks, Bhagwan. We wave the arti 5 times walking around, saying trapped in the body, they're the elements of the earth and the air and the water. Today we pray that may those elements return to that place where they came from. And so it is prescribed that the arti must be waved. But you know, in Trinidad, everything is a show, you know. Everything is a big show. Long line to do the arti for the dead man, and you never talk to the man in your whole life. You have no clue. No clue. But you know what? There is a thing called karma. Have you ever heard of karma before? Karma is a thing. It has a way of teaching you and straightening you without you even imagining that you're being taught a lesson. I told you that I'm doing the burial. Swami and I, bad combination. We go to the home. The funeral happened peacefully, and now we go to the cemetery. By the cemetery, all the man's sisters, they gathered there by the gate. They have never spoken to the man in more than 30 years. But they show up in the funeral. The man's children come to me and say, what we going to do? I say, I don't know what you will do. I have to do the funeral. Rain is going to come. We need to put the man to rest. So let's perform the ritual. The grave digger makes an alarm. He finds something in the hole. All of his sisters go to the hole. Then all of a sudden I start hearing screaming. They're all screaming and crying. In my mind I say, oh God, they're over sorry their brother dead. By the time we make the 5 stops and we go to the hole, only to realize all 3 of them inside the grave. The grave digger found their mother's box, And so they went to peep to see. And when one was going down, she pulled down the other two. They're screaming, and I'm standing there. What do you think I will do? I said, don't worry, your time will come, but today is not your day. What are you doing in the hole? And they're saying to me, you're joking. Pull us out from in here. And in my mind, I say, how I am pulling you out? From a distance, the gravedigger gave them the shovel, and they used the shovel as a pulley to pull them out. In desperate situations, you use desperate measures, isn't it? Karma has a way of working itself out and teaching us lessons. Life has a way of trying to straighten us out. Life and God, Bhagwan, has a way of trying to get us onto the right pathway. But even God can only help those who first try to help them. You must first try to help you must first admit that I want to try. Nobody should force you to try. You should be willing to try. In trying, you might fail many times, but in trying one day, you will stand perfect. Many times while you try, you'll be abused, you'll be criticized, you'll be condemned. You'll be like a piece of metal, and everybody around you will be like sandpaper. Grinding you. Everywhere you turn, they grind you. But in the end, you know what will happen? You will be shining, and they will be dull and ready to be thrown away. Always remember that. So in every bad situation, there is always something good to look forward to. Garud asks, he says, Bhagwan, after performing these rituals, then what happens? And so Bhagwan says, chanting of the pratnas, praying to me, Bhagwan Vishnu, on behalf of the soul, praying for the atonement of the sins of this person. Garud then asks, he says, any ritual is performed at home? What rituals are performed at home beside this? Bhagwan says, the Panchak Shanti, the offering of the dolls. We listened to that yesterday. And the offering of the Pindas, they're done at home. Bhagwan Vishnu then says, he says, before the body makes its exit out of the home, water is poured in a north-south direction. Scripture has prescribed this, and it must be performed by an in-law, a person who has joined the family. Because why? Why a person who has joined the family? Is because his soul is leaving here now to go on its journey. And chances are it will rejoin another family. And that's why an in-law is chosen to perform the ritual. Why? Why is it poured from north to south? Because his soul's journey is in a southern direction. He also goes on to say, he said, pouring this water is praying for safe transition on behalf of the soul. Praying for that there will be no crosses and negative energies. Bhagwan says, an ashavad is given to this deceased person when he's leaving by the sprinkling of rice and flowers. Now that is scriptural. That is not our tradition. That is scriptural. It is a ashavad. That's why when somebody is getting married and the wedding car leaving, what you do? What you do? Well, in 2022, you wine in front of the car. That's what you do. But everybody is supposed to give an ashavad to the dulahin and the dulaha by throwing some rice grains, by sprinkling some rice grains. When a wedding is about to take place and the dulaha comes to the home, the dulahin's mother goes to the car door, and you know what she does? She takes some chunki loya. Have you ever heard about chunki before? Chunki loya, some loy of flour, and she throws it in a different direction. You know why? Praying that no sickness, no dosh, no negative energies will befall the groom for his married life. And so may sickness and problems and ill health and calamity not come to him from the east, the west, the north, the south, up and that's why they throw it in the different directions. You ever see that in the wedding? Even the diya that is used in the wedding should be made of flour. Why? Because wheat is auspicious to Lord Vishnu and the groom is considered to be Lord Vishnu himself. And that's why it is made of Bhagwan Vishnu tells Garud. He says, Garud, an ashavad is given by showering of the rice. Long ago it was our tradition that they will throw some coins. In 2022 you can't throw coins. You know why? You'll mash up the glass and you'll do all kind of damage. So they pour the They put the coins sometimes in the dhar that they will offer the water, that they will offer across the road, or they will take a handful of coins and just drop it on the ground somewhere. That's what they do. But scripture has declared that coins or money should not be treated in a way where you're throwing it away or mashing it. It is a curse. And so we have to be very mindful of how we perform that part of the ritual. After the body leaves, now making its way to the cremation site, what will happen? Something will happen. Bhagavan Vishnu continues to tell Garud. Hari Narayana, Hari Narayana, Hari Narayana, Jai Ram Ram Ram. Hari Narayana, Hari Narayana, Hari Narayana, Jai Ram Ram Ram. Hari Narayana, Hari Narayana, Hari Narayana, Jai Ram Ram Ram. Hari Narayana, Hari Narayana, Hari Narayana, Jai Ram Ram Ram. Ayodhyavasi Shri Ramchandra Anand Rupa Jai Jai Ram. Ayodhyavasi Shri Ramchandra Anand Rupa Jai Jai Ram. Hari Narayana, Swami Narayana, Hari Narayana, Jai Ram Ram Ram. Hari Narayana, Hari Narayana, Hari Narayana, Jai Ram Ram Ram. On the cremation site, the stops are made. And so the first stop is made at home, and then all the other stops they're made on the cremation site. Why? They're chanting the elements of the body. What are the elements? Agni Tattva, Vayu Tattva, Jal Tattva, Prithvi Tattva, and Akash Tattva. What are these? Water, earth, air, fire, and space. And so the 5 elements, they all shanti. And so they shanti using the mantras. I have started now that when you make the stops, I allow the Yajman to put his hand on the box and say Om Agni Tattva Shantir Bhavatu. Om Vayu Tattva Shantir Bhavatu. So they know what they're doing. So they have an idea of what is happening. So each step, they know which element could have been shanti. The pindas are broken and thrown in a different direction, symbolic of Kakbali for wandering souls and spirits, and so that no deterrent will come, and the ceremony will be done in a peaceful way. As the body is brought to the chitta, it says the place where the cremation should take place should be liped with gobar. Do we do that? Do we do that? It should be liped with gobar. It says then, after the chitta is consecrated, the body is prepared for cremation. What should be placed on the body for the cremation? And why are these things being placed there? Havan has to happen. But the body is going to be now the Purnahuti, the final offering into the fire. It is going to be this sacrificial, sacred offering that will be placed in the fire. And so all of the ahutis, they are placed to adorn the body. Bhagavan Vishnu says this samagri. The ingredients are the ingredients that we use: rice and sugar and gugul and til and ghee and camphor and dried tulsi branches and nutmeg and clove and stick spice, and it specifies, it gives an elaborate explanation of all of these things. For every single one of these ingredients brings about a certain amount of purification. And so these things are used to adorn the body for the cremation. Gold. Pieces of gold, they are placed in the major gateways of the body. Why? We listen to that if a person dies wearing gold, then the soul, chances are the soul will get mukti, salvation. But the Garud Purana says, no, we don't know which part of the body the soul exited from, for sure. So we put the pieces of gold on the eyes and the nostrils and all of the exits of the body, praying that wherever the soul would have exited from, may the soul be granted mukti, salvation. And that's the reason why. Also, there is a school of thought that says that it is a reminder for all of those who are attending that though the eyes would have seen many things, there is nothing that the eye could have seen to save that person from death. Though the nostrils would have inhaled many things that smelled appetizing like Shobha food, the nostrils, nothing we inhale would be able to save us. The mouth, though we would have spoken and heard of many things that, the green thing with kale and spinach and cucumber, the thing they have me drinking now, that thing, not even that will save you, because that will still come. That will, you wearing green and I drinking green. See? Nothing that you would have heard of or drank or tasted or whether what medication you tried, that will still come, isn't it? And so it says on the lip of the person who has died, the tulsi leaf is placed and the sandalwood. Why? Why is it placed on the mouth? Why is it placed on the mouth? The first place that is ignited on the body is the mouth. Why? Because Agni or the fire god lives in the mouth can be compared to that of fire. True or not? The mouth singing, Hari Narayana, Hari Narayana. And then the same mouth. You want to see she? You want to see he? He so, she so, them so, everybody so. Huh? The same mouth, you're singing Bhajumana Hari Hara Om. Can't wait to hurry home to pick up the phone and call. Kusuma on that same thing the first night. Think hard. You didn't see Bunny? You carry home half of the roti. And everybody can't wait. The same mouth, singing all the bhajan. All the bhajan. It's the same mouth you sing all the bad things with. So praying for purification. Praying for purification is placed on the lip. The Garud Purana says that the body is placed into the chitta. And as the body is placed into the chitta, the Garud Purana specifies that the ghee, I'm going to tell you this. It sounds very horrific, but it is still practiced in India till today. The Garud Purana says the mund, the head of the person who has died, should be filled with ghee. How that is happening? In India, they wait until the body is almost, and they use a bamboo rod, and they pierce through the skull and they pour the ghee in there. I'm so fascinated with funerals, Every time I go to India, I spend an entire day at the ghat, just observing cremations, just observing what happens and what kind of ritual they perform. I'm so interested. I so want to know. And they do this. They still practice this tradition in India. In our country that we live in, we don't practice that tradition. So when we do the cremation, especially our senior pundits, they take a piece of stick and they tap the forehead of the person who has died 3 times while inside of there. If you ever noticed how I do the cremation, I do the very same thing. Controversial questions will be asked just now. And these questions are not asked by Garud, they're asked by me. I'll tell you the controversial questions. Questions that you and I have and we need answers to. The Garud Purana says that on the ground where the Havan will be performed, lines are drawn, 7 lines. Chanting the mantras, Ayodhya, Mathura, Maya, Kashi, Kanchi. Praying that may this place now be sanctified like all of the holy cities in India. Where if death would have come in any one of these holy cities, your soul would have instantly gotten mukti, salvation. And now worship is about to be done and Havan is about to be performed. Agni Devata, the fire god that is worshipped on the cremation site, he is not called Agni. He has a name. Do you know his name? Do you know what he's called? Agni Devata, who is worshipped on the cremation site, his name is not Agni. His name is Kravyavahai. Kravyavahai is his name. And so Kravyavahai Agni, the Havan that is done on the cremation site is not the Havan that you will ever hear at your home or anywhere else. I have done so much funerals, but I can't memorize those mantras in my head. I know some, but I don't know all. So I have to use a script to do the Havan. Lobhyaya, Lobitaya, Twachase, And so there are many mantras that are chanted. But every single mantra that is chanted to do the Havan is a different part of the body that you're offering into the fire. Praying that now Agni Devata, the fire God, will purify the body through his heat, through his power. To bring the body to a state of purity. Why dry tulsi branches are placed? Why do we use dry tulsi branches?
गोकुल बाला नंद की लाला गिरधर गोपाला जय जय राम
गोकुल बाला नंद की लाला गिरिधर गोपाला जय जय राम
गोकुल बाला नंद की लाला गिरधर गोपाला जय जय राम
हरि नारायण हरि नारायण हरि नारायण जय राम राम राम
नारायण हरि नारायण हरि नारायण जय राम राम
What do you know about Tulsi? What do we know about Tulsi? We just celebrated Ganesh Chaturthi. We celebrated the entire Utsav of Lord Ganesh. We know that you're not supposed to offer Tulsi to Lord Ganesh. When we went out into the ocean to put the murtis of Lord Ganesh and we were cleaning up the murti, I got branches of Tulsi and I started to tremble. And I said, Narayan, Narayan, Lord Ganesh, it wasn't me. I am just taking it off. I have no clue who put it on. And somebody said to me, you don't need to be worried about that because you did not put it. And you don't need to be worried about that. I say, I am not worried about that. I am worried about what the repercussions of that will be. Tulsi. What do we know about Tulsi? It is imperative upon every single Hindu that in your home, if you have no auspicious plant, you must have the Tulsi plant. You must have the Tulsi plant. I'm also going to say this. Tulsi Devi does not grow everywhere. Contrary to what you believe, she does not grow everywhere. So there are some homes where how much they try to plant the Tulsi, it just will never. And there are some homes that Tulsi just flourishes. She flourishes everywhere. I'm going to say to you, the Devi Bhagavad tells us or teaches us when it talks about Tulsi, give a gift of anything, but never give away your Tulsi plants. Never give away your Tulsi plants. The only being that is invested with the power to receive the Tulsi plant is your Pandit, the holy people, the Brahmanas, giving it as a gift to them. You know, we have a habit, we like to root out everything and give everybody. Tulsi is Lakshmi. And when you give away your Tulsi, you're giving away your Lakshmi, your wealth. Baba, we have too much. You ever have too much? You have too much wealth? Do you? Long ago, they measured the wealth of your home by many different things, you know, Jagannath. They say, look at Jack Spania, plenty money. Have you ever heard that before? Have you ever heard that before? When they look at the Jack Spania nest around the house, they say, you have plenty money, plenty Jack Spania. Why it specifies that dry branches should be used? Because the tree, in order for the branches to be dry, it means the tree is not alive. And so why Tulsi branches? It is specified that must be placed on the body. Do you know why? Bhagwan Vishnu is the Pradhan deity that is being worshipped. But the only person that has the ability to pacify Lord Vishnu is Mata. And so if the being would have been sinful, whatever, we're praying to Bhagwan Vishnu that may you make this transition peaceful, O Lord Vishnu. And through Mother Lakshmi, we beg that the transition will be a peaceful one. See how logical it is? See how logical it is? And so now, as the Havan would have been performed and the cremation is about to happen, they walk around 5 times holding the torch. Have you ever seen? Well, in Trinidad, we hold a puchara. Walking around 5 times, the mantras are chanted, praying that may the elements and the senses and all of these things be placed to rest, and praying for the atonement of the soul, praying that the transition will be peaceful for the soul. the Garud Purana says that the fire is ignited first on the mouth because Agni or the fire god lives in the mouth. And so then the entire body is set ablaze. After this is done, Tarpan is offered. Tarpan. Water, Tilanjali. There is no longer body. The body will be burnt to ashes, to zero. And now the offerings are being made on behalf of the Pret. For a soul exiting the body is referred to or called a Pret. It is referred to as a Pret. That's why in the funeral and until you perform the bandara on the 12th or the 13th day, it is prohibited. According to scripture, it is prohibited. And let me say that again. It is prohibited to sing the Hanuman Chalisa. Why? Because the Hanuman Chalisa says, Bhoot, Pret, Pisash, Nikat nahi aave, Mahabir Jaba, Naam Sunave. Wherever the name of Lord Hanuman is chanted, the Bhoot and the Pret and the Pisash, they have to flee from that place. And so if the soul is called a Pret and you're praying and offering the Pinda on behalf of the soul and then singing the Chalisa and chasing away the soul, then what will happen? We contradict the entire thing. That is not my opinion. It is the words of the Garud Purana. It is not my opinion. And so, Garud, he goes on to ask, why is it called Tilanjali? Why is it called Tilanjali? Any idea? Tilanjali. Mata Yashoda Sri Krishna Chandra Ananda Rupa Jai Jai Ram.
Mata Yashoda Sri Krishna Chandra Ananda Rupa Jai Jai Ram.
Mata Yashoda Sri Krishna Chandra Ananda Rupa Jai Jai Ram.
Mata Yashoda Sri Krishna Chandra Ananda Rupa Jai Jai Ram.
Hari Narayana, Hari Narayana, Hari Narayana, Jai Ram Ram Ram.
Hari Narayana, Hari Narayana, Hari Narayana, Jai Ram Ram.
Hari Narayana, Hari Narayana, Hari Narayana, Jai Ram Ram Ram.
Hari Narayana, Hari Narayana, Hari Narayana, Jai Ram Ram.
Till refers to till, black till, white till, brown. The color till that is used in the after death ceremonies is black till. Anjali means that the till and water must be offered with the palm of the hands. Tilanjali. That's why it is called Tilanjali. It specifies that it must be offered through the thumb and the index finger of the right hand. Why? Why the thumb and the index finger of the right hand? Why not anywhere else? Because it says, if you offer forward, it is called Dev Tirtha. Dev Tirtha means that the offering goes to the Devatas. But when you offer through the right hand, index finger and thumb, it is called Pitra Tirtha. Pitra Tirtha means that the offering goes to the Pitras, the Pitris. And so that's why you offer through the right hand, index finger and thumb. And that's why the oblations are poured through there. That's why even when you're offering the Pinda, you offer the Pinda as though you're pitching a marble. That's how it is offered, so that it will come through Pitra Tirtha, like this. And so that is the reason why. After offering the Tarpan, it specifies that water should be taken from that place where the cremation happens. And that water should be taken to the home, where now it will be offered on the kush grass as Tarpan. The first water that should be offered should be that water that is brought from the river or the ocean or that place where the cremation happened. And so it should be placed in a ghat. Ghat means an earthen pot hanging over the kush grass to drip. Garud goes on to ask, he says, why kush grass? What is kush grass? Why kush grass? You say kush grass and they bring all kind of grass, you know. Horse grass, bull grass, fever grass. Auntie Kusum was saying a few days ago to Paki, I did not make any chai because you did not bring any fever grass. And I said to her, Auntie Kus, what craziness you're talking about? This is Pitra Paksh, why you don't make the tea with kush grass? And she said, kush grass, everybody go dead. Well, I have news, whether we eat the kush grass or not, we're still dead. We'll all die still, but kush grass. Bhagavan Vishnu says the kush grass is symbolic of the hairs of my body. And so he says that in order to make the offering, the kush grass must be knotted. Why do we knot the kush grass? The ordinary mind thinks that you're tying down the soul. In Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says the soul cannot be burnt, the soul cannot be cut, the soul cannot be buried, the soul cannot be anything. Nothing befalls the soul. No affliction befalls the soul. Always remember that. And so, the kush grass is knotted. Why do we knot the kush grass? Why do we knot the kush grass? Hello? Anybody knows? Govinda bolo, Hari Gopal bolo. Govinda bolo, Hari Gopal bolo. Radha Raman Hari Govinda bolo. Radha Raman Hari Govinda bolo. Govinda bolo, Hari Gopal bolo. Govinda bolo, Hari Gopal bolo. Lord Vishnu says that living in a kush grass at the root is Lord Brahma. Living in the middle is me. And living at the tip is Lord Shiva. He says, knotting the grass halfway, all of the offerings that you make go directly to me. And that's the reason why you knot the grass. So that the offerings are poured not to Lord Shiva and they don't go to Lord Brahma, but they come to me, Lord Vishnu. And that's the reason why we knot the grass. That's the reason why the grass is knotted. Question. If there is more than one person that has died in the family, mother, father, sister, brother, then if you are offering during the time of Pitri, how much grass do you need to tie? How much grass do you need to tie? I have seen where people tie a grass for everybody and they put their name by it. And in my mind I say, Narayan, Narayan. I'm wondering if it is what it is really. Sarva Pitra. You need to tie one grass and you need to make the offerings. One offering. In honor of Sarva Pitri. All of the Pitras. But you know, we like to impress, huh? We think that we're impressing God when you tie all of this grass and thing. You think that you're impressing God and you say, I'm doing the thing the right way, you know. Well, I want to tell you, it have no wrong way and no right way. You pray in your way and the best way that you know. But I can only tell you what the scripture says. And so it says, Bhagavan Vishnu says, not the grass. He also specifies that the offering should be made in the southwestern corner of the yard. Southwestern corner is the spot that is chosen to make the oblations to the pitris. Long ago they used to say, put it behind the house, far, where nobody can see it. Huh? That's why when you were taking out the food, they'll carry you with a cutlass. Because you have to go behind the house, far. And chances are you'll have to go through a little bush and thing. Huh? So that's why they carry it. But now is a big thing, you know. Actually, now they might carry a weed whacker. Because we have advanced. Huh? We have advanced. Long ago, they used to carry a little lighting torch. You know why? You know why? Because there will be bees and all kind of thing on the trees that you will have to pass. And the only thing that will bring calm to these creatures is the smoke. And that's why they will carry the lighting torch. But you know, all of these things have become tradition. It has become law. It is not written here. It has become law. It has become somebody's law. Somebody created that law. Because the offerings are made to Bhagavan Krishna on behalf of the... Do we want to go with a cutlass to do what to Lord Krishna? Do we want to go with this fire to do what to Lord Krishna? But if you tell them, don't carry a cutlass and don't carry... Baba, you know nothing. Well, sometimes I really pretend I know nothing. The day after the cremation, what happens? The bones are collected. And so the bones are washed with milk. And so they are placed in a ghat. And being placed in this ghat, the ghat is filled with milk and tulsi and til. And so this is offered into the ocean, the water. Why? Why does it specify that it must be offered in water? Baba, well, she say when she done cremate, you must bury the ashes in she husband grave. So we're going to bury it. You come and say the prayers. I don't know the prayers to bury ashes. I don't know if you know the prayers. I have no clue. What is the mantra to chant to bury ashes? I don't know. And then we say, Baba, the light coming on. Where we go to? Huh? And Baba, just so the cupboard opening and closing. Where you think is that? Huh? And you say, Baba, you sure you do the thing good? And you blame everybody but yourself, huh? Because you never want to follow advice. And you're being given good instructions and you never want to follow that. And you see the man sneeze? Because I'm telling you the truth. And coincidentally, every time I tell you something like that, somebody sneezes out of the blue. The ashes should not be kept at home. You should not keep the ashes of any person at home. You should never take it to your home. Never. But I'm a mother, Baba. She's watched TV with me. Oh, good. Tell me when you have your mother with you, I wouldn't come. Make sure and tell me. You know, I took my grandmother's ashes to India. Almost months after she would have died. And nobody knew I had the ashes. And the night before, I would put the ashes in the Ganges. The night before, I took out the ashes from in my bag. And my mother said, what is that? I said, don't worry about that. That's nothing important. She said, nothing important? Why is it wrapped up like that? And I went to shower and she opened it. And when she opened it, she's seeing my grandmother's name. She said, what is this? I said, it is nothing. Tomorrow morning I will tell you. Go to sleep. She said, that is ashes and you have it in the room? I said, that is your mother and you afraid? That's your mother and you afraid? I never get hugged up so in my whole life, Munilal. That whole night she almost slept under me. But the thing is, the ashes should not be kept at home. During that time, that period, when we were preparing to go to India, the ashes was kept in a funeral home, not my home. And then from there, it went to India, in my suitcase, with my clothes, as normal. I'm not afraid. I could identify who that belonged to, but that is not her anymore. That is her final remains. The Garud Purana says, Bhagwan Vishnu tells Garud, he says, offering these bones into the water, praying that his soul will get mukti, salvation. Everything that you're doing is praying for the soul to get mukti, salvation. Praying that the soul will never return in the cycle of birth and death. And so why water? Because you remember the katha from the Shiva Puran, where Bhagirathi, the great king, prayed that Lord Shiva will, actually he was praying to Lord Vishnu. And why he was praying to Lord Vishnu? Because all of his descendants, they were burnt to ashes. And so Bhagirathi started to pray, and praying to Lord Vishnu, he was singing to Lord Vishnu. What he was saying? Hari Om Namo Narayana, Om Namo Narayana, Hari Om Namo Narayana. All of the descendants of Bhagirathi, they were burnt to ashes because of a shrap, because of a curse. And the ashes was lying everywhere. And as the ashes was lying everywhere, Bhagirathi knew that the only thing that he could do to liberate their souls was to put the ashes in the Ganga. But it was too much ashes, and it was impossible for him to gather all of the ashes. So Bhagirathi instead started to pray to Lord Vishnu. And why? Because the Ganga was flowing from the little toe of Lord Vishnu. But when Bhagirathi prayed to Lord Vishnu says, Bhagirathi, I am willing to allow the Ganga to come on the earth. But if this water were to fall on the earth, the entire creation will be destroyed. Bhagirathi, I have an idea. Go to Lord Shiva and ask Lord Shiva that the Ganga will fall on his head first and then it will trickle down onto the earth. And Bhagirathi went to Lord Shiva and praying to Lord Shiva, Bhagirathi says, Lord Shiva, please, I am begging you, can you receive the Ganga? And Lord Shiva says, yes, I will receive the Ganga. And so the Ganga fell from the toe of Lord Vishnu onto the jata of Lord Shiva. And so Lord Shiva pulled one strand of his hair and he said to Bhagirathi, drive your chariot. And wherever your chariot go, the Ganga will follow you. And take the Ganga to this place where the ashes will be. And that's how the place got the name Rishikesh. Kesh is bone, the bones of the Rishi. And so the Ganga flows in this place called Rishikesh, washing the bones of the Rishis, so that all of them, their souls will get mukti, salvation. And that's why it is called Rishikesh. Why? It is called Haridwar, the doorway of Lord Hari. Who is Lord Hari? Lord Vishnu. And that's why the Ganga flows to Haridwar, the doorway of Lord Vishnu. It says the Ganga begins in a place that is called Gomukh. Have you ever heard about Gomukh? The Ganga begins to flow from on top of a mountain. Nobody could explain why or how it happened. From this place called Gomukh. And why it is called Gomukh? Go comes from the word Gau, which means the cow. Mukh means mouth. When you look at this place where the water is flowing from, it resembles the mouth of a cow, Gomukh. And so Gomukh is a place that is closed for many, many months in the year. And you are only permitted to go for certain times. But when you go there, you have to take a bath in that freezing cold water. In my lifetime, I've only been blessed to go there once. But I wish I could go again. But the problem is I don't like the cold water. But you have to put aside your like and think about the auspiciousness of what you're doing. And so the water of the Ganges is always cold. Very cold, freezing cold. And that's why you put the ashes, Judy, after the body is cremated in all that heat, you put the ashes in the cold to bring some kind of ease, some kind of... That's why when the place is very hot, you say, give me cold water. Huh? You drink down the water and you eat the ice and you nearly drink the cup too. To bring some kind of ease, some kind of peace. Some kind of pacification happens. It says, the bones and the ashes alike, they all placed. And from that day onwards, a Pinda and Tarpan is offered in the name of the person who has died. It becomes Preta Bhog, the food of the soul. It now becomes the food of the soul. And so we offer. The Garud Purana says to us, it appears to be a long time. For the soul, it appears to be a very short time. And so now, after performing these rituals, it says, after collecting the bones on the evening, you perform a ceremony that is called Dur Mohi. Have you ever heard about that? Dur Mohi. Dur is Dur Mohi. This ritual is performed where a khichdi is prepared using urdi and all of the nice things, milk but I don't think you could put anything nice for that to taste nice, really. Have you ever tasted that before? Arish, have you ever tasted that before? Narayan. Urdi itself is a very gooey, sticky kind of peas. And you make sweet rice with that. Imagine what will happen. It's like almost like sago. It comes out almost like sago. You know what sago is? But just with no sauce, with no milk, no excess milk. And so this is offered with milk at the kushkas in the evening time, in the night time, Dur Mohi. And so it is offered there. I said that I'm going to ask some contrary questions and some questions that you and I, we become very confused about. Should flowers be burnt when there is a cremation? Should flowers be burnt when there is a cremation? Is it right or wrong to burn flowers? Do we burn flowers in puja? Have you ever burnt flowers in puja? Then why is it right to burn flowers in cremations? Why is it right then? If it is prohibited from puja, then why do you think it is right when you do the cremation? Now hear the reason. Hear the reason that I have heard. I don't know if this is true. I just hear this from the lady pundits and the elders, and you don't give heed that how you go take it back. You'll get a boil in your eye. The body have toxins, and the toxins would have intoxicated the flowers, and it have germs. And I say with no apology, if there is a COVID that I'm not taking out nothing from there. I burn in flowers and everything. Narayan, it says because of place, date, time, situation, circumstances, and you might dead too. Narayan. Hari Om. But long ago, you never saw flowers being burnt. You never saw flowers being burnt. Actually, there's some rituals that are performed where flowers must be offered in the fire when you do specific worship to Lord Hanuman. But it specifies that dried jasmine flowers should be dipped in sandal paste and ghee and then offered in the fire. And it specifies, but it must be dried. Meaning that there is no, it is dried. There is no life in it. There is no energy in it. What will come out of it is the fragrance. So logically that makes sense. So should you burn flowers or should you not burn flowers? You figure that out. I am not going to tell you. Why is there a thing that is called a wake when somebody dies? Why is it called a wake when somebody dies? Because long ago there weren't funeral parlors. And the body had to be kept at. And many a times they pronounce the living man dead. Do you know? And in the night time the dead man get up. So they kept a vigil. They all kept awake to see if the dead man will get up. Have you ever heard the phrase, saved by the bell? Have you ever heard that before? Saved by the bell? Long ago, there were many people when they were taking them to the burial, to the cemetery, to bury them. They got up on the way, because they went into comas and they got up on the way. So the old people devised a plan. And so to the finger of the person who has died, they will attach a string from in the grave. And out of the grave, they will attach this string to a bell. In the event that the dead man got up under there, he will pull the string and ring the bell. So he'll be saved by the... Now it sounds like a joke. But think about how intelligent they were. Think about how intelligent they were to devise something like that. You and I would say, man, just put my cell phone. I will call you. You know service. Actually, you're on the earth and you can't get service. Imagine you're 6 foot under. What service you'll get? Huh? In Palmiste Park, it is difficult to get service. In Bodna, it is difficult to get service. No service. So imagine you 6, Dave, imagine you can't get service and they bury you in the Bodna cemetery. And they give you your cell phone and they say, call now if you get up. What you do? You're dead again, boy. Huh? So saved by the bell. Long ago it was a tradition that they will take down the curtains and take down the pictures and all of these things at the home. Do you all know? It was a tradition. Why? Before I go to that, we spoke a little bit about the choti. It must be left. The reason why it is left is because the head is accustomed to hair. And so if you just out of all the blue shave out all the hair, then you're prone to becoming sick, becoming ill, having the cold, etc. And so it is one of the ways of protecting the mold of your head. And that's why you leave the turkey. And all of these things are very logical. They're very logical. Why the curtain? In 2022, like by Paro, she have up drapes. How you'll take down that? Huh? Paro will roll out the funeral home and come for you. It was a tradition that they will take down the drapes, the curtain. You know why? So that anybody passes, they will recognize that the house is in mourning. You're in no zeal to decorate the place. Your curtain beautifies the home. Your curtain brings decorations into the home. It beautifies the home. And when somebody dies, you're not in a mood to celebrate or to decorate anything. So you also, the reason why they took down the pictures, you know why? The soul is now angushta, having the size of the thumb. The soul no longer has a body to call its own, and the soul is already in pain and in torment. And those pictures, seeing those smiling pictures all on the wall, creates even further disturbances to the soul, pain to the soul. You ever watch yourself in a picture and you say, watch how thin I was now? Huh? And then you say, me, you know, what happened? They got to join two pictures for me to fit now. Huh? And it brings a kind of pain. You watch the picture on the wall of the day you get married and you say, watch that now. How I did so stupid? Huh? And I well smiling for this picture. Little I know is torment after this day. Huh? And you look at the picture and it tells many different stories. Huh? It brings about many different memories. And so that's one of the reasons why they take down the pictures. There are many different things that the Garud Purana tell us. But for tonight, Umapati Mahadev ki jai, Pavan Sutta Hanuman ki jai, Ayodhya Ram Lala ki jai, Vrindavan Krishna Chandra ki jai, Puresa Jagannath ki jai, Bolo Bhai Sarasantane ki jai, Siyapati Ramchandra ki jai, Sharanam. Panditji will perform the Havan with Sasi, and so as she performs the Havan, Budramji is going to sing for us the bhajan I Be Akela. Every single one of us, there must have been some member of our family, somebody close to us that would have left us. This evening, let us reflect and let us remember them as we pray on behalf of the souls, praying that wherever their souls may be, 99.9% of the cremations and funerals that would have happened when the bodies were about to leave home, this is the bhajan that would have been sung. And it would have been sung by this man on a tape. We have him live in Palmiste Park this evening. And so he's going to sing this bhajan. He actually was going to sing the bhajan earlier, and I stopped him. And I said, I will tell you when to sing it.
Yeah.
He said, oh, that's a sad song. So this evening, I want you to reflect for a few moments as we think about Pitris in this time of the Pitra Paksh. Let us pray on behalf of the souls of our Pitras.
Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kansitanur Mardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadguru. आए भी अकेला, जाए भी अकेला, 2 दिन की जिंदगी है, 2 दिन का मेला. आए भी अकेला, जाए भी अकेला, 2 दिन की जिंदगी है, 2 दिन का मेला. मतलब की यार कारी सब है पराए. दिन के लिए है तूने महल सजाए, मतलब की यार कारी सब है पराए. इनके लिए है इतना तूने दुख झेला. 2 दिन की जिंदगी है, 2 दिन का मेला. आए भी अकेला, भी अकेला, 2 दिन की जिंदगी है, 2 दिन का मेरा। तुझको करना, काहे तू आया जग में, क्या तुझको करना। नेकी कदम कर ले, दुनिया से डरना। काहे तू आया जग में, क्या तुझको करना। नेकी कदम कर ले, दुनिया से डरना। पाप की अगर में तुझको काहे को ढकेला, 2 दिन की जिंदगी है, 2 दिन का मेरा। आए भी अकेला, जाए भी अकेला, 2 दिन की जिंदगी है। जीवन को पाले, हर की शरण तू हो जा, ध्यान लगा ले। जीवन मिले ना फिर ये, जीवन को पाले। खेल जगत का सारा उसने खेला, 2 दिन की जिंदगी है, 2 दिन का मेरा। आए भी अकेला, ये जिंदगी है प्यारी, एक झूठ सपना। गैरों के दुनिया में नहीं कोई अपना। ये जिंदगी है प्यारी, एक झूठ सपना। गैरों के दुनिया में नहीं कोई अपना। सबके रहते हुए मैं हूँ अकेला, 2 दिन की जिंदगी है, 2 दिन का मेरा। आए भी अकेला, हो 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 कोई भी रहा ना जग में, सबको है जाना। कोई भी रहा ना जग में, सबको है जाना। झूठे जगत का तूने किया है ठिकाना। कोई भी रहा ना जग में, सबको है जाना। झूठे जगत का तूने किया है ठिकाना। रहा या ना भी कोई गुरु और चेला, 2 दिन की जिंदगी है, 2 दिन का मेरा। आए भी अकेला, जाए भी अकेला, 2 दिन की जिंदगी है, 2 दिन का मेरा। 2 दिन की जिंदगी है, 2 दिन का मेरा। 2 दिन की जिंदगी है, 2 दिन का मेरा।
वृंदावन में लाल की जय, सच्चे सनातन धर्म की जय। It is prescribed that the Kamkarta, the Yajman who has performed the rituals of the Anteshti, he must be indoors by 6 o'clock in the evening. Why? The Garud Purana is saying that he has to be inside by 6 o'clock in the evening to protect him, so that he'll be protected to perform the rituals. But protected by whom? Or from whom? Protected from the very same soul, because his soul becomes very aggravated with that person who has ignited the flame, the fire that would have destroyed the body. And so that's why you have to be inside by 6. Because if you were the one that destroyed the body and you're out having a good time and liming, it aggravates the soul even further. You're now prescribed to fast without salt and without eating high chunkied food. Why? As an act of preparing yourself to perform the Daskatra. What is the Daskatra? Tomorrow evening we would listen to. The Daskatra is the 10-day ceremony. What is the 10-day ceremony really about? What does it entail? Who should perform this ceremony? Where it should be performed? What are the gifts that should be given? What are the reason and the logic behind the pindas that are offered? What has to happen to the pinda before it is offered? What happens to the pinda after it is offered? Who is the Mahapad? Should he be your friend? Should you embrace him? What should happen? All of these things we listen to in tomorrow night's Katha. Come and join with us as we sing and glorify and eulogize Bhagwan, praying on behalf of the souls of our Pitras. This has brought us to the end of our devotions. I want to remind you that on the 17th, the Ganesh Utsav Foundation will be hosting its dinner right here at Palmiste Park. And so dinner and dance, the ticket is priced at just $200. All proceeds go towards our mandir construction. So I'm inviting you to please patronize our dinner, and we'll have special guest artists like Amir is going to perform for us, and many prominent singers and renowned musicians will be here. So come and be a part of it. There are many things in store as surprises. A lot of door prizes. Take your Xanax before you come. The Pandit is cooking the food. You know, there are many surprises. And so door prizes and guest prizes and many different things, giveaways. So be a part of our dinner. This evening, as we have come to the end, let us all stand as we join in the closing arti. Shubham karotu kalyanam arogyam sukha samparam mama shatru vinashaya deepa jyotir namostute. We dedicate the arti to Mama Chai. Jai Krishna Hare Shri Krishna Hare Dukhiyon ko dukh dur kare. Jai 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 Krishna Hare. जब चांद तरफ अंधियारा हो आशा का दूर किनारा हो
जब चारों तरफ अंधियारा हो आशा का दूर किनारा हो
और कोई न केवल हारा हो तेरे तू ही बेड़ा पार करो. जय 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 कृष्ण हरे. Sing with me, everybody.
जय कृष्ण हरे जय कृष्ण हरे दुखियों को दुख दूर करे. जय 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 कृष्ण हरे.
तू चाहे तो सब कुछ कर दे विष को भी अमृत कर दे.
तू चाहे तो सब कुछ कर दे विष को भी अमृत कर दे.
पूरन कर ले सबकी आशा.
पूरन कर दे सबकी आशा.
जो जो भी तेरा ध्यान धरे, तेरे जो भी तेरा ध्यान धरे। जय 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 कृष्ण हरे।
जय कृष्ण हरे, श्री कृष्ण हरे, दुखियों को दुख दूर करे। जय 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 कृष्ण हरे।
तेरा दर्शन को मैं तरस रहा, तेरा नाम भी माला जपते रहो।
तेरा दर्शन को मैं तरस रहा, तेरा नाम भी माला जपते रहो।
बहु सागर में तेरे नैया,
भवसागर में तेरी नैया।
जन्म में जाए किनारा हो, फिर जन्म में जाए किनारा हो। जय 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 कृष्ण हरे।
जय कृष्ण हरे, श्री कृष्ण हरे, दुखियों को दुख दूर करे। जय 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 कृष्ण हरे।
नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण 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 ओम नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम जय सद्गुरुदेवा।
नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण 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 ओम नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम जय सद्गुरुदेवा।
नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण 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 ओम नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम जय सद्गुरुदेवा।
नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण 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 ओम नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम जय सद्गुरुदेवा। जय सद्गुरुदेवा। जय सद्गुरुदेवा। जय सद्गुरुदेवा।
असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्युर्मामृतं गमय मृत्युर्मामृतं गमय। We pray that wherever the souls of the people are, may those souls be blessed. We beg on their behalf, if their souls are in bondage and in suffering, may you have compassion upon their souls, O Paramatma. Listen to our prayer. Anadini Dano Deva Shankha Chakra Galadhara Akshaya Pundari Kaksha Preta Moksha Pradurvava Tvameva Mata Shapita Tvameva Tvameva Bandho Shasika Tvameva Tvameva Vidya Dravinam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva। प्रार्थना सुन लो हमार प्रभु, प्रेम से कर तब कार प्रभु, प्रेम से कर तब कार प्रभु, प्रेम से कर तब कार प्रभु।
प्रार्थना सुन लो हमार प्रभु, प्रेम से करत पुकार प्रभु, प्रेम से करत पुकार प्रभु, प्रेम से करत पुकार प्रभु।
प्रार्थना सुन लो हमार प्रभु, प्रेम से से कर तब पुकार प्रभु, प्रेम से कर तब पुकार प्रभु, प्रेम से कर तब पुकार प्रभु।
प्रार्थना सुन लो हमार प्रभु, प्रेम से कर तब पुकार प्रभु, प्रेम से कर तब पुकार प्रभु, प्रेम से कर तब पुकार प्रभु।
Listen to my prayer, O Lord the Lord. I am singing praises to you with love. I am singing praises to you with love. I am singing praises to you with love. प्रार्थना सुन लो हमार प्रभु, प्रेम से कर तब पुकार प्रभु, प्रेम से कर तब पुकार प्रभु, प्रेम से कर तब पुकार प्रभु। ओम शांति ओम शांति
ओम शांति ओम शांति
Turn to the person next to you, in front of you, behind you. Tell them, may Bhagwan bless you, now and always. Sitaram, Sitarama, Sitaram kahiye, jahi binhira ke Rama, jahi binhira ke Rama, kahi binhira